sou estafado.
Teresa Simoes was born in 1952, 20 years old, 21 years before the Portuguese Revolution. She lived with her from 1947 to 1977 was the Portuguese Revolution. For half a century, Portugal suffered under a harsh dictatorship, shanty towns, and struggled with hunger.
Thank you, Teresa Simoes, for letting me interview you at this time. First off, can you tell me what your childhood was like when you were in Portugal?
Well, I was born and I was raised in Portugal.
Were there any difficulties?
My parents didn't have much money. My mother was, mostly I lived with my mother. I didn't really know my father that well. My mom was a housekeeper in Portugal, but she worked very, very hard to put me through school. And, I always had food on the table because my mother worked very hard. But yeah, of course, there were difficulties.
Second of all, how old were you when you came?
I was 24 years old.
Did you come alone or with others?
I came by myself.
Why did you come by yourself and not with other people to help you?
Because I did not know any other people, and I came 40 years ago. It was a long time ago, and I had to do something because there was no opportunities in Portugal at that time, so I left.
Tell me, why did you choose the America? Why not other countries?
Because the United States at the time was the most economically stable, and to this day, the most economically stable and with the most opportunities.
And why California, and what town or city did you move to?
I landed in San Francisco. I had a couple of friends acquaintances that I knew that lived in San Francisco, and so I did have a couple of contacts, not necessarily old friends, but a couple of contacts in San Francisco.
What made you come over, and how did you get to America?
Well, what made me came over was the lack of opportunities that there were in Portugal at the time, and also a very oppressive political climate at that point. So there was no freedom of speech. There was no opportunities of employment. There was no opportunities for education, higher education. So although I was very young, I did not want to have a life like my mom, and I decided that I needed to do something.
How did you come to America?
I worked very hard for a summer, bought an airplane ticket, got in the plane, and came.
Was there an event that made you leave, or a crisis in the economy?
No, just the ongoing economical and political oppression.
What type of work did you do, and when you first came?
Babysitting, worked in restaurants, did whatever I could, illegally, of course.
Was your jobs able to pay the bills, taxes?
Well, it did. You had to work hard, but you can get there.
How did you learn English then?
General Hospital, do you know that show, General Hospital? No? It's a, how do you call it, a telenovela show, a soap opera? Yes, soap opera show? That has been going on for the past 40, 50 years on TV, and so I watched it. Oh, of course.
What are some examples?
Well, America, the United States, a very racist country, and so a very immigrant country.
Like, what did they do? Like, say jokes about you?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure that a lot of people said a lot of jokes, and they're still saying a lot of jokes about me, but that doesn't bother me. No, it was everything and probably a lot more.
Why do you think so many immigrants come to the U.S. to start a new life?
Because it's the land of
What advice would you
opportunity.
give to other immigrants thinking about coming to America?
Stay low, work
Don't
hard.
get caught.